Okay, we're live on YouTube. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, the 25th of October. And before you ask me what my t-shirt is all about, at first is a housekeeping announcement. This weekend, we're going to have a daylight saving time hitting the UK. So for those of you that are not in the UK, just bear in mind that the clocks are going, where are they going? They're going back. So now we're going to be, for example, for Australia, New Zealand, we are in winter timing, where it's like 11 hours difference between London and Sydney and 13 hours difference between London and New Zealand. So please bear that in mind, because next week, obviously, the time here or this in the UK stays the same all year round. So it's always at 8 a.m. But there are just 2 hours difference between summer and winter between UK and New Zealand. Okay, so there's 9 hours in the summer, 10 hours in October, and 11 hours after October. Just go figure. I wish they leave that alone and we could live without daylight saving time. Anyway, let me start sharing my screen, and obviously, anybody can guess what this t-shirt is about? It's more of this all the way down. Anyway, you should be able to guess. I can't do this because this, the Apple software centers me on the screen. Well, yes, obviously, Anne-Marie, this is out of the Cardano Summit. So it is a Cardano Summit. Sorry, it's a Cardano t-shirt. So one of the freebies for those that have attended, the Cardano or the Cardano Summit. And this is a kind of like a hint of what we're going to talk about today. So today, there's a very important, not today, I mean, this past couple of days, there have been very important announcements regarding Cardano. So let me share my screen and we talk about, because this can be absolutely massive. Okay. Sorry, let me just move away from this. And I think that probably the best thing to do. So this is the announcement that Cardano has launched. So Cardano and Bitcoin OS, which is the operating system of Bitcoin, and Cardano have launched a bridge, which is completely permissionless, that allows the Bitcoin and Cardano to seamlessly integrate. In what does that mean? And basically, that any asset on Bitcoin can now be used on Cardano. So any Bitcoin holder can now interact with Cardano DeFi without even downloading a Cardano wallet. So, and also Cardano code could deploy directly on Bitcoin as well. So to explain this, before I can go in exactly why this can happen, first of all, before we go into any deeper, it's you need to understand there's like two different systems. There's the Bitcoin accounting system, and there's the Ethereum accounting system, and they're completely different. The Ethereum system is similar to your bank account. Okay, so this it's called an account system, because you cannot distinguish between the different the different coins that are deposited in there, the same way that you cannot distinguish within the different banknotes once you deposit into your bank account. Obviously, a banknote has got a particular code that identifies it at the moment. So if you deposit a $50 note into your bank account, you have $50. When you take it out, it's not necessarily the same note. It's just another $50 or another denomination, a sum of other denominations, but it's not going to be the same note, and you can't trace where that note has gone from the moment that you deposit it in the account. Okay, so that's the Ethereum system. The Bitcoin system instead is completely different. It's almost as if you deposit into a safe deposit box different items, and those items are traceable. So, you can withdraw exactly that piece of Bitcoin that you deposited, 2 years ago, because that piece is identifiable. Okay, and this is called the UTXO model. Now, this UTXO model is used by Cardano as well, and this is what allows for this kind of like an integration between Cardano and Bitcoin, and where what could happen right now is that Cardano becomes the smart contract execution layer of Bitcoin. Now, I want to show you a brief video, only about 3 minutes. And this is the founder of the BOS, which is the Bitcoin operating system. And let me just make it bigger. And this is during the Cardano summit.
Suffering from a bit of
Sorry, first of all, can you hear that? Can you just give me a thumbs up or something?
dual purpose here in the whole world of crypto since the very, very beginning. In the very, very beginning, Bitcoin version 0.1.0, the very first version that came out, had two components to it. One was the creation of a token, which some of you may have heard of, called BTC. But the other part was the creation of the world's first DApp, the world's first decentralized application. It was called Poker Lobby. And it was supposed to be a distributed way to play poker across the Bitcoin network. And in the second version of Bitcoin, Poker Lobby was entirely removed. But ever since then, we've had this tension for 15 years. From the very genesis of the world of crypto to today, we've had this tension where we've had two parallel tracks. The first has been Bitcoin with BTC, an unchanging system for stable currency that you can transact with and that you can hold, and that's it. That's the entire list of things that you can do with it. Very, very popular with that transactional and holding capacity, but that's it. And then, on the other hand, we have the entire world of crypto innovation, a flourishing of chains and dApps and systems and technologies, which remains ultimately a small fraction of the entire crypto space and a small fraction of Bitcoin. So we have this tension where Bitcoin can be and is popular and can be used for holding value. And as a result, we've got $1.3, $1.4 trillion effectively dormant or trapped in Bitcoin. And we have projects like Cardano building out tools that would allow you to do much more, to trade in a decentralized fashion, to lend in a decentralized fashion, and to build effectively an entire decentralized web architecture. We have functionality. So permaware and functionality, and those two up until now have not met. Cardano is a very special chain. It is by far the largest, most significant chain built as a UTXO system like Bitcoin and with a long-term view of the world like Bitcoin. But it too cannot interact with Bitcoin. And so the big announcement that we have today is that that is changing, that we have a major change coming for the entire world of Bitcoin, the world of Cardano, the world of crypto, and the world of finance as a whole. Because for the first time, those two parallel lines, which were never to touch, are bending towards each other. We are now able, through Bitcoin OS, to verify on Bitcoin mainnet zero-knowledge proofs. And this gives Bitcoin brains and eyes. For the first time, we can build smart contracts on Bitcoin, and we can give Bitcoin the ability to see what is happening on other chains. And possibly the most important chain to do this with is Cardano. What this means is that we will soon have the ability to trustlessly bridge assets from Bitcoin to Cardano and vice versa. We will also have the ability to utilize the smart contract capacity of Cardano to write smart contracts that execute on Bitcoin mainnet, turning Cardano into a smart contract platform for the largest asset base in the world. We're looking at an entirely new phase for Bitcoin, Cardano, crypto, and finance. And I'm super excited to be able to discuss it here on this panel first. Thank you.
Okay.
We've been stuck.
Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can get out of this. Okay. Now, who can understand what was being said, and do you need any explanation first before I start powering on? Does anybody understand
Yeah.
what this is?
Yeah, they've created a link that they can talk to each other because they're eventually kind of on a similar system or platform.
Yeah, but it's basically you know, the meaning of this is absolutely insane, because it means for the first time, as you were hearing, there's been an asset base of 1.3, $1.4 trillion that now become all of a sudden from illiquid to liquid. So what does that mean is that now holders of Bitcoin are a little bit like holders of gold. Yes, gold is going up all the time, Bitcoin is going up all the time, but you can make money on it, or very, very limited, in a very, very limited way. So now, any holder of Bitcoin can potentially then use it for DeFi, and even without being moved from Bitcoin as well, but using the Cardano DeFi to leverage their Bitcoin holding. So it means that if you have kind of like Bitcoins in your portfolio, you could potentially use it for lending, for borrowing against it, for all the kind of uses that DeFi has been designed for, and so that it opens then a different income stream to holders of Bitcoin that hasn't been available up to today. Okay, so if you can imagine, this is almost like it could be, obviously not every Bitcoin holder will use Bitcoin for DeFi. Like generally speaking, DeFi is a portion of any chain's activity, but is not 100%. But if you think about, just think about it, 10% of 1.3 trillion would be 130 billion. So the actual significance of this from the point of view of, funds that could find their way to, a network like Cardano, for example, is absolutely insane. Okay, and not just for Cardano, but also for the rest of crypto, because if you can do easily from Bitcoin to Cardano, then Cardano also now has got connection to the Ethereum world as well. So we could go then from Bitcoin through Cardano to any other network pretty much. And this is the big, the big announcement, the big change that could be hitting the world of crypto, not just Cardano, not just Bitcoin, but the whole world of crypto in general, is actually mobilizing all these funds that up to now are being basically like savings account, sitting there doing nothing, and could be then become a force that accelerates the money velocity within crypto. So this could be one of the things that powers this bull market to a whole different level altogether. Because now you don't have to just rely on, let's say, outside money to come into the world of crypto for prices to move. We can also start generating money velocity through crypto native funds, okay? Because all the funds that are already sitting in Bitcoin could be used faster to have a much bigger effect on the whole crypto economy. Because it's the same in our own economy. If you keep, let's say, a £10 note under your mattress, doesn't have the same effect on the economy as if you go out and spend it. Because then if you spend those £10, and those £10 are going to be used to, to then buy something else and something else and something else. And the more they go around, the more economic activity they generate. Okay, and it's the same in crypto. So when you think about that, if we go and look at what the questions are, yeah, pretty much the total value unlocked, Werner. So So it
What-
is absolutely incredible. Sorry, who wanted to pick?
Sorry, no, I was just gonna say, will it kind of eventually, if more of this happens, where you can interchange with Bitcoin to other things, much easier than having to go and take it and transfer it, like, buy USDT or whatever. Doesn't it open the economy up a lot more because you don't have to use to convert it to something else to go to another product.
Yeah, but it's so up to now, the people who wanted to use Bitcoin on other chains on Ethereum, and there is a proportion of Bitcoin that is used on other chains, had to wrap it. So the wrapping process is actually, depositing the coins on one chain in a vault, that cannot be accessed, and on the other chain, creating this wrapped version of Bitcoin, and then you can go and use in other things. This is different. You can use directly. You can move the Bitcoin directly without having to go through this process, which is the ones that often failed in the past, like what happened. We remember a couple of years ago in Harmony, where a lot of the funds, all these wrapped funds, overnight lost all their value because the places where these funds were being held got hacked. So there is a lot less risk, a lot more security to that. And as you said, you don't need to move or to transfer your coins or to exchange it to another coin, which create a taxable event. But you can just move coins directly onto a different protocol. So you don't actually have to generate a taxable event, at least at the moment, but you can just generate more returns out of your holdings. So obviously the returns would be taxable, but you don't have to pay capital gains because you're not selling your Bitcoin. You still have what you have bought. And to be honest with you, even if there are places like in the UK where anytime you move a coin is a taxable event. But I think in the case of Bitcoin, if that was tested in the courts, it'd be very difficult for the court to judge against it, because Bitcoins using the UTXO model can be proved not to have been moved. Can you prove that you still own the same bit of Bitcoin? So I think that this is something that potentially has could stand even in front of the courts in terms of being tax efficient. And so if you hold a big amount of Bitcoin that you just holding there for the future, for the next 10 years or so, and you have the opportunity completely safely to have a return out of it, then obviously a proportion of Bitcoin holders would use this to get some yield out of their Bitcoin. So it is potentially a very, very big change. Obviously the bridge is not active yet, but it will be very shortly. And I think it's amazing. It's amazing that we have got. I mean, it took 14 years now to get to this point, but this could unlock. It's not just a matter of Bitcoins going to Cardano. Also, Cardano assets can go to Bitcoin, and also is about the code. So you could have smart contracts designed on Cardano and executing directly on Bitcoin. So somebody could have the security of keeping their funds on Bitcoin because they're more secure, but at the same time using code that has been written, already being developed on Cardano. So it is incredible. Kerry was asking, does this potentially create the same risk as what happened with FTX? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, because you see, FTX is completely different thing. So is like a bank using your money for their own reasons. not even to invest, because they wanted to go and have a jolly somewhere. So that's what happened pretty much with FTX. This is just like your bank giving you the potential to access an investment on a different bank. This will be more likely to be the case than this. I mean, this is not about leveraging. This is not about leveraging. It's just about using. So if you are lending your funds, you're not leveraging. Okay. So those are more, protocols that do that are completely different. We're just talking about making the funds available to use for things that is very, very difficult at the moment to do on Bitcoin. Although it's, we have started having some dApps and some code being written on Bitcoin, but it's not easy. It's not really the easiest platform to work on. So that's, it's opening the gateways to, the same reason why basically Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, all the other chains were created. It was exactly because it wasn't possible to write code on Bitcoin, and the crypto community wanted to do more than just use coins to as a store of value and to exchange. So they wanted to develop the smart contract capabilities, which has never been available on Bitcoin until this announcement. So it could be. We'll see what the next few months will bring, because obviously this hasn't started yet. So the flow of funds, hasn't commenced yet. But is potentially very, very big. If you have any other questions, please ask me. I'll just go and share again to show you a few more things that again show you how things are developing now. Now, can you see this screenshot? This is a Swiss bank that is explaining Bitcoin to its customers. Okay, so this was from an event last week. And so it explaining as like Bitcoin, the sound money principles, enhanced functionality, etc., could enable the creation of a global financial system capable of better meeting developing world's needs. So now these are not crypto people talking about this. This is now the establishment recognizing that they have got a better solution. So this is now, banks, now Goldman Sachs allowing its financial advisors now to recommend Bitcoin. We have Swiss banks talking about Bitcoin to their customers. So this is the movement that has started now. This is the avalanche that has started moving slowly. Okay, it takes a little while to gain size and to start taking everything in its path, but the movement has literally started. Other big news as well this week. So we have quite a few things I can show you about. Cardano. Cardano becomes the first blockchain to leverage Bitcoins for seamless Bitcoin OS operating system for seamless Bitcoin DeFi integration. Okay, so this is basically Cardano will operate. It's not becoming a Bitcoin layer because Cardano is a lot more than that. But it can. So Cardano can operate on many different levels, and one of the Cardano 7 lives, so to speak, could work as a Bitcoin layer too. And not only that, but with the extra security that is also built into Cardano. So this is what would be called the Grail bridge. Okay, and uses the zero knowledge verification protocol. So Bitcoin transactions can be conducted reliably on the Cardano blockchain. Okay, without compromising the security or decentralization of the platform. So that's the big change. Okay, so there is we'll see. It's a pity that Jonathan is not here today, because it would be nice to get his take on this as well. So there are, if you start looking on the crypto news, there's lots of articles about this. This is Cointelegraph again, which hasn't been one of the friendliest, crypto news companies to talk about, about Cardano, but they are at least reporting it now, which is again positive. On other news, we have a couple of interesting things. Now, Kraken, it's the latest of the centralized exchanges now to launch its own blockchain. Okay, where we have the Binance Smart Chain, we have the Base for Coinbase. There's many other blockchains for other exchanges, and now it's going to be like a Kraken blockchain called Ink, which will use the same infrastructure as Base. So it will be launched on Optimism. Okay, so it's a Ethereum layer 2. So again, it's another little step in the right direction. So for making so it's a step, I'll say, between going directly to to a blockchain like Cardano, Solana, or any of the other blockchains, and using what people already know, because people already know Coinbase, so they feel more comfortable using Base. So people already know Kraken, they feel more comfortable using this, and the same for Binance and the Binance Smart Chain and so on. Although they are decentralized chains, obviously, but they you got the in a way the name that supports them, also that gives them some authority in a way. So we'll see. Hasn't been launched yet, but it is going in that direction, as well as one of the biggest exchanges, together with Binance and Coinbase. So we're going to have a Kraken layer 2 chain as well. On another couple of things, and then I'll stop sharing and we'll take a few questions. That we've had USDC, the Circle, the company that launched USDC, also launched a EURC. It's a Euro stable coin, and now has grown. Obviously, it's not, is a fraction of what USDC is, but now it's grown to be over 90 million. So it's growing. It's growing also the use of euro as a stable coin as well, and the market cap of UC is now at about 99 million. So still, if we look at USDC, obviously the market cap is, I can't remember how much it is. We can go and check on CoinGecko, but it's something Gecko is about 56 billion. No, actually, I'm talking about 34. It's 34 billion USDC. So it's about 340 times the market of EURC. But it's a start, and obviously, if it's growing, it's because there is a demand for investing in euros or euro equivalent as well. And as we know, there will be what will follow this. There will be eventually stable coins in yen, in pounds, and in all the other major currencies as well, because remember, the stable coins is just a way for moving your fiat money into the digital world, and with the freedom that follows also the digital world, and being able to transfer seamlessly between countries in seconds, instead of taking 2 or 3 days of the banking system and so on. So that's and the last thing that I wanted to share with you before looking at the what's happening in the ETFs and in the prices is Microsoft. Now there is an investment proposal that is going to be voted on at the next shareholder meeting on December the 10th to decide whether or not the company should officially assess investing in Bitcoin. Okay, so we're talking about Microsoft, one of the biggies, okay, one of the top, the top 3 or 4 companies in the world. The board has recommended voting no. Okay, the board recommends no, but obviously this is a shareholders vote, so it could go one way or another. I don't need to tell you that if the shareholders voted yes to this, it could cause quite a buzz in the in the Bitcoin world, because again, we know already what MicroStrategy is with all the that's one company that's invested in Bitcoin, the effect it has had on the whole Bitcoin price and crypto world. Imagine, Microsoft is a number of magnitudes larger than MicroStrategy, and the effect of they could have on the crypto world or Bitcoin world, if the investments are only in Bitcoin, could have on the again the price of Bitcoin. Well, where are we? Okay, I think this is the last bit of oh yeah, just very quick look about the ETF flows in US dollars. So as you can see, we keep having positive flows at the moment. The last from the 11th of October till now, we've had about almost like 3 billions flowing into Bitcoin. We now have gone beyond the 20 billion mark. So the total is 21.6 billion since the launch. You can see now, the BlackRock has become about almost getting close to being double the size of Grayscale. Fidelity is closing the gap as well with Grayscale, because where all the other funds pretty much have got kind of like a green flows into their own funds. Grayscale, it still is the one that shows the most outflows. Okay, so it's potentially will carry on getting smaller, while the other ones that carry on growing eventually with the growth of Bitcoin has become more popular. In ETF instead, we go and have a look at that. So ETFs, the Ethereum ETF is slightly different. There have been some in the last, since the 11th, there have been some inflows. So it was about 70 million. The total is still negative at the moment, is minus 472 million. But if we look here at the where the market is going, you can see that since the end of September now, it's mostly inflows and very few outflows. So we kind of started gaining back these these massive outflows that we had for the same reason that the money that was flowing out of Grayscale. You can see at the moment Grayscale is still the largest Ethereum ETF. So the Grayscale Ethereum Trust has is worth 21 billion. Sorry, 21. Yeah. Sorry, the price. I'm talking about, where am I? ETH. Okay. That's the reason. Okay, it's so this is the about 1.6 million Ethereum are in their funds, and and the other one, the iShares, so the what's it called, the BlackRock one, has got about like 25% of this, and so it's still, it's still Grayscale still holds, the biggest chunk of Ethereum in the in this, but obviously you see whether the others are accumulating, and the Grayscale one keeps going down in numbers. So we're still very far away from the equivalent to having the equivalence in the Bitcoin ETFs. So as you can see, there's still red pretty much on the Grayscale column, and the majority of the other funds are on the green. Okay, but you still, at the moment, since these were launched, we still have a negative effect on the price of Ethereum, because there have been there's been more selling than buying. Okay, so let me stop sharing, see if there are a few questions. We've got about 5 minutes before we wrap the call up. Okay, anybody would like to ask any questions? And please, if you could turn your videos on, so at least I can see you guys. Come on, don't talk all at once.
Hey, how's it, Luca?
Hi, Kerry. Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. So I guess I've kind of got two questions. The one is, so I mean, we've seen some Bitcoin action recently in the last few days and that. I mean, is this kind of a sense of the beginning of the bull run? I mean, I know we kind of have been saying that we're at the beginning of the bull run for a while, and we talk about those 500 days and that. But I mean, it seems like it's kind of testing some new highs, and it seems like it's kind of finding support at the kind of the new lows, if that was it. That's the first part of my question. The second part is, in terms of the carbon copy crypto, I know the guys were saying on one of the groups that we do a session once a month on that. I kind of know that this was born out of, this weekly session was kind of born out of that, I kind of felt. Is there a separate session that we actually do around that, or does it just fall into this crypto hour?
No. This is sorry, it's a completely different thing. So we're not going to talk about this now. So there is one a month. It's going to have a session beginning of November. So yeah, that's a completely separate thing. And in terms of Bitcoin, what's happening with Bitcoin? Let me show you look at a little bit of technical analysis on that. So this is what's happening right now. Okay, so we're still in this range that we've been in since mid-March, as you can see. So technically, this was a downtrend, okay, since the 14th of March, price creating lower highs and lower lows, okay, and with the low that was reached in August. Now, for this to be so, since then we have started making instead higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and this is where the latest one was last weekend. But what we need to break this. So technically, for the downtrend to be broken, we will need to close above this level, which is pretty much a 70,000. We've gone close enough last week. We were about 69.5, but yeah, we will need to close above $70,080 for terminating completely this downtrend, and then we can talk about this, which at the moment, until this is broken, this is a correction. So we consider a correction because this is still holding. Once this is broken, then we can talk about this as the uptrend. And often in trading there can be, like in this case, there are two trends coexisting on the same chart. But the moment that this is broken, then this will come off the chart. It's not valid anymore, and this will be the dominating one. So at the moment we've been fighting against this. So you see that every time the price has approached that level, there's been a pushback. but the pushbacks are getting shallower. Okay, so you know, the next now we've gone so close to it that the next push up, if it happens, you know, we'll have to break this. So at that point, I would say yes, we'd be looking at, you know, what's the next target. But all these levels here, they're already being tested. So the next time, once this is broken, the next time these are not going to be as strong because some of the selling pressure has already been absorbed. You know, so they don't. It's this the level that I'm looking at. So once you're about 70,000, I think I might be wrong, but this is my read on this. Once we close around above 70,000, then that's the start of the next leg.
Amazing, thanks, Luca. So, and then I'm guessing that similar to what you're saying is then essentially we've got to break those previous ATHs. So
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
73 being the big one. The moment we break that, then we're into new territory.
Yeah, definitely. So, but then we start the next, you know, the next leg, which will be probably something, you know, where am I? You know, the immediate next leg should look something like this. Okay, so this is what I expect. Once these highs are broken, I would expect to, you know, to stop, you know, above 90,000, or at least to pause about 90,000. So this is kind of just a measured moves in a way. If you see this, if you see that, can you see how pretty much the same moves?
Yeah.
You know, so this is what I'm looking at. So that's the next move. This is that move from there. So from when the market has turned in December 22, we've had these sort of big moves. That's, you know, roughly, you know, $13,000-14,000 at a time, at the very least. Okay, so that's what I would be looking at.
Amazing. Thank you, Luca. That's great.
All right, no problem. Anybody else? Now, if you want one of these beautiful t-shirts, now you're gonna have to go to one of the Cardano meetings, one of the Cardano summits. So London this time was a pretty small event, but I think the real one is going on in Dubai. You know, that was the big one that I showed you with the video. Okay, any other question, guys? Okay, there are no more questions, then we will adjourn this. I remind you, for those of you that come to the AIW session, this will start in 15 minutes. So I'll give you, for anybody else, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And for those of you that come to the next session, then go and have a cup of tea, use the facilities, and then be on time at 9 o'clock for the AIW session. So have a great weekend, and see you soon.
Thanks, Luca. Cheers.
Thanks, Logan. Thank you.